Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff. Thanks for stopping by the channel. You know, the graveyard is full of people that had great intentions on writing a book, sharing their story, sharing their life. And they never did do that. And they carried all that wisdom and that knowledge and life experiences to the grave with them. It's never to be remembered. It will never impact or influence somebody's life or make someone's life better because they never did follow through with what they intended to do. When I started this YouTube channel, it felt very awkward and it felt very weird just getting on here and sharing things. And it got me to thinking about something also is that our young people today need to hear our story. Our young people today need to hear our wisdom. The young people today need to hear our mistakes. Because young people today are influenced so much by social media, by their likes that they get. They base their identity on that. They think, well, I'm not getting enough likes on my post that I made. And they're living in a life of false hope and insecurity in that. I have a son that's 17 years old, and we have a really good relationship. And, you know, I've got him out in the driveway, taught him how to work on his truck, change the oil, change the tire, got him out in the wood shop, taught him how to build stuff, just pouring things into him. And you may not be the type person that would like, I can't sit down and write a book. I'm not going to sit down and write a book. I don't have the time to sit down and write a book. But I want to be able to share things with my family. I want to leave something behind for them. Well, listen, we have a great technology today with these videos. And you may say, well, I don't want to make a video and leave it out there for the whole world to see. Well, you can make videos and put them on a thumb drive. You can make videos and put them on a private YouTube link and share it with your family. And it may feel awkward at first doing something like this, but if you have a story to tell, you have different stories to tell them. My grandfather has been gone for right at 25, 26 years. I don't even remember how long, but it's been a long time. I have memories about him. I remember stories that he told me. Funny stories, wise stories, wisdom. And y'all excuse me a minute. I got to scratch my head. I remember all those things, but there's one thing that I didn't realize that I had forgotten until I heard it. I pulled out some old home movies and I heard his voice and I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't think I would ever forget that voice, but I did. I forgot what his voice sounded like. How awesome would it be that your kids share with their grandkids or your great grandkids that, hey, this was your grandfather or your grandmother or your aunt or your uncle. And you think, well, they were kind of strange. They were kind of weird. Well, yeah, they may be because they probably won't get everything about us. But there's something that I'm doing right now, and it's kind of different. But I want to pour into my son, you know, not only getting him out and teaching him how to do things, but I want to share things with him because, you know, I have said I would like to go back and talk to my younger self. And if I could, things would be different. Well, that's totally impossible. But I can talk to my son right now and share things with him. You know, the opportunity to always sit down and have a conversation with him is not always there because, you know, I'm at work or when I come home, I'm tired. He's in band or he's doing different things, and having those times together like I would like to have is not always available. And sometimes the mood's just not there just to talk about certain things. And also, I don't want to feel like, you know, that I'm always just telling him things all the time, you know, when we're together. So I got to thinking, you know, how can I be a little bit creative with this and, you know, with the technology that we have today? And I thought, you know what? I make YouTube videos already, so why can't I make a video And I could put that on a thumb drive, or I could share that in a private YouTube link and send it to him. Nothing long, nothing fancy, just sharing with him and being real authentic with him and talking to him just like he's sitting in the truck with me going down the road or sitting across the table from me or across the room, and just share some things about my life and my failures and say, hey, son, this is what I did at this age, and it was really stupid. And I wished I hadn't done that. And this was the outcome of it, and this was the long term effects of that. And it really wasn't a good building block for my life at all. And, that was just me. And then I could say something like this, son, when I got that first paycheck, when I graduated high school, you know what I wished I'd have done with that? I wish I would have invested, you know, this certain percentage of it into the stock market. I wish I would have done that and realized that, hey, one of these days I'm going to be 55 years old and I'm going to be really close to retirement or want to retire. And it would have sure made my life a whole lot easier if I would have done that then. But I didn't do that. And you may say, well, what if they don't take that advice? That's up to them what they decide to do with it. But I think the cool thing about this whole thing is that I can share these times of my life when I was in my 20s and my 30s and my 40s and even now in my 50s, and just leave it out there, for years to come. And, it can go to that and looks, well, I wonder what Daddy was thinking when he was 30 years old, or what he would have done, or what he wished he would have done, or something like that. You know, it's just wisdom and knowledge, and we all have a story. We all have a story to share. And I just think it's an awesome thing of what we have today that, I think it's a good thing to journal, I guess, and write letters and different things like that. But those things can get lost so easily in the shuffle. And, occasionally I'll read something that my grandparents wrote or something like that. My grandmother actually did this, and she didn't really feel comfortable with it, but my mother talked her into it, and I've read some of it. Is that it was a little book that was made, and it was questions asked in there. What would you say to your grandkids or something like that? And when I read that, it speaks volume to me because it lets me know how she's seen life and how she was thinking about things. My mother and dad did the same thing for me years ago. It was a little book that you had, and it had the questions in there, and it was asked to my parents, and they wrote the answers, and then they gave that to me for Christmas one year. There were some things in there that made me cry, and there were some things in there that made me laugh so hard that I heard of stories that I did not know about their lives. And I value those things. I value those stories, and I value those two books in my life because it's a part of them that they shared with me that I can go pick up and I can read, and it just pours into me. And I still have my parents. They're in their late to mid 70s. And, life is changing for them. And I value the time that I have with them more today than ever. I have the privilege of being able to help them during this time in their life. And I get to pour back into them because they have poured into me, so long. I often think about, the videos that I make and different things that, I may be an old man one day and I'm not able to do. My kids, will see me in that state, but they're going to realize that's not really Daddy right there. That's just Daddy's state right now of where life has been hard and where it's brought him in this old age or whatever. And the videos and the stories and everything that Daddy's telling right there, that was my daddy. That's who my daddy is. And so I just think it's really awesome. And we need to just share our story and be you, be real, and be authentic. As weird as it might feel, but leave your legacy, leave your story. to be heard and to be seen. It's just a dying thing in our world today. It just is. That's all I got for today. Just different. I tell you, it's probably about the 11th or 12th time I tried to make this video, and it just kept flopping like crazy. But I think I made it through this time. Kind of said what I wanted to say. Hey, go out there and do something good for someone today. It will bless them. It will bless you. Leave a legacy. Leave a video. Leave your wisdom and your knowledge. For the generations here and the generations to come. Have a great day.